but he effectively propagated his message among the masses by using the limited media of his time, mostly the print as well as through public meetings. Among his other qualities of leadership, he was the best communicator. Uh, so, as everybody said, vocal variety, then delivering the message correctly, then listening. So all these are the good qualities of I mean, it is these are the good qualities of communication. So friends, you will agree with me that Gandhiji's voice quality was not the best. So with this vocal variety, he used little body language ad for his appearance. After he returned from South Africa, he was scantily dressed, and also he has poor vocal and voice variety, hardly any body language, and poorly dressed. Yet how did he convince the mostly illiterate countrymen to fight for freedom without rifles against the British empire? So his distinguishing quality was that he truthfully, passionately believed in the message and skillfully conveyed his philosophy, which he himself also practiced. He sent his thoughts through the life by setting a personal example. So his autobiography, titled My Experiments with Truth, narrates the actual life he lived and practiced his principles for setting a personal example. Let's move on with the meeting. I would like to explain the structure of the meeting. So the meeting is divided into 3 rounds. The first is the prepared speech round, where members will be delivering speeches based on the projects and path that they have chosen. The second part of the session is the table topics round, where members can practice thinking and speaking on their feet. The third and the final part is the evaluation round, in which all the prepared speeches as well as other aspects of the session will be evaluated by the general evaluator and his team. Now, let me introduce the general evaluator. Our general evaluator has been a Toastmaster for 10 years, industry SME, self-proclaimed humorous speaker, lover of Tamil poetry and literature, who is none other than DTM Guru Prasad. When I asked him to share his thoughts on the theme, according to him, Gandhiji is a good humorist. He also shared a story with me. So the story is when Gandhiji went to London and had an audience with the king, he met him with his usual two-piece dress. After the meeting, the press asked him about him meeting the king with such a short dress. Gandhiji replied, His Highness was wearing enough for both of us. So, with this humorous dialogue, let me call upon the General Evaluator, DTM Guru Prasad. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, TM Modi. And let me first of all offer, on behalf of me and the entire Medley Toastmasters Club, the audience, many, many happy returns of the day for your birthday. Nice to know about your birthday. Well, team, we always recognize Mahatma Gandhi as a father of nation and with respect to all his patriotism and the service done to humanity, as TM Modi explained in elaborate. We also need to recognize something that he followed in the course of all the actions he did. He always did an inspection or retrospection of whatever he did, evaluated them, and then decided to go forward, taking other steps. Let it be Satyagraha, let it be his South African movement, everywhere he validated, just looked back and decided whether to go forward or cancel. You may remember after this famous Chauri Chaura incident, he put a pause the whole Satyagraha movement and took the entire responsibility of whatever events happened as part of that Chauri Chaura incident. So that lesson, even if you see his autobiography is named as My Experiments with Truth, where he has evaluated his entire life and gave it as the lessons learned from his life. So evaluation becomes a key aspect of your life as well as your leadership journey. And hence, Toastmasters International gives so much of preference to evaluating apart from just speaking or presenting something over the stage. In today's meeting, I am playing the role of a general evaluator, a very generic name, but it doesn't end with that generic name. I have a team of people who perform or who evaluate the meetings throughout. There is a small team that evaluates the speeches being performed in the meeting, and there is another small team that follows the entire meeting and gives their observations about the execution of this whole meeting. Let me introduce the second team now, and I'll be introducing those individual evaluators during their session. I have a three-member team called Timer, Arc Counter, and Grammarian, fondly called as a tag team. Let me invite Toastmaster Muralidhar to explain his role and introduce himself and explain his role for today's meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Yeah, thank you, DTM Guru Prasad. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of our counter is to note words and sounds that are used as crutch, pass, fillers by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen to overused words, including well, but, so, and you know. And I will also listen to filler words like er. And I will also note as a speaker, when a speaker repeats a word and phrase such as I, this means, this means. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Muralidhar. Now, as the second member of the tag team, not necessarily in the same acronymous order, I would like to introduce Toastmaster Saravanan and request him to explain his role.
Thank you, DTM Guru Prasad. As we all know, Toastmasters is all about communication. When we communicate, in whatever language we speak, it needs to be correct. And whatever we speak must be spoken correctly. Whether it is the pronunciation or phrasing or sentence formation, everything needs to be in correct format. So as a grammarian, it is my role to observe the entire meeting, pay close attention to all the speakers, listen to them carefully, to their language usage, and note down if there are any misusage or like outstanding usage by the speakers as such. And it's also my duty to introduce the word of the day today. So the word of the day today is candor. That is the quality of being honest and saying exactly what you think. That is candor. If you have to use that in a sentence, you can try this. I tell you in all candor that option doesn't exist at all, that candor. So I will present my report when called upon by the general evaluator. Over to the general evaluator, Guru sir.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Saravanan. May I now invite Toastmaster Venkateshwarlu to present his role to the audience.
Greetings, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a timer, I will time the tabletop speakers, formal speeches, and the evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards. For table topic speakers, at 1 minute, I will raise the green card, and at 1 minute 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. 2 minutes, I will raise the red cards. And for icebreaker speeches, it is at 4 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 5 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. At 6 minutes, I will raise the red card. The individual evaluation should be between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 2 minutes 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. At 3 minutes, I will raise the red card. And if you want to follow these slides time, you can pin me, and so that you can get to know this different colors. I can play around now. This is a white. Sorry. Can you see my screen, sir?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a green and yellow and red. And for table of speakers, minimum should be, if it is a speech is less than 1 minute and more than 2 minutes 30 seconds, it will be disqualified. For icebreakers, if it is less than 3.5 minutes and more than 600 minutes, it will be disqualified. And for other speeches, if it is less than 4.5 minutes and more than 7.5 minutes, it will be disqualified. And evaluations, if it is less than 2 minutes and more than 3.5 minutes, considered as disqualified.
Are you done, timer?
Yes, I'm done. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. You can unshare your screen now, please.
Yeah.
So here you saw the part team B of evaluation explaining about their roles. There is another team here who will be doing the speech evaluations. However, there is one more team that will be doing the evaluation of everything that happens in the meeting. It's none other than you all. You are all here also to witness, enjoy the meeting, as well as make your own observations. Kindly feel free to share your thoughts in the chat box whenever you hear a speech, whenever you hear a role, apart from these 6 members. So let us walk through this meeting, have a nice time, and get back in the second half to revalidate how this meeting went on. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Flashback to a vegetarian society meeting at a restaurant in London. Gandhi was to give a speech. He had prepared his speech well in advance and rehearsed it multiple times as well. But when his turn came to speak in public, he panicked and was tongue-tied. So much so that some other member had to read out his speech to handle the situation. Later, the same shy and introvert Gandhi turned into an enthralling speaker. After becoming an impressive speaker and a leader of the masses, Gandhiji opined about public speaking is that my hesitancy in speech, which was once an annoyance, is now a pleasure. Here are 4 Medleyians in different stages of their journey from annoyance to pleasure, featuring in today's prepared speech session. The first speaker of this round is Toastmaster Om Kumar. When I asked him about to share his thoughts about the theme, according to him, Gandhiji is the best inspiration India has ever got. His words are a great strength to the generations to come. So Toastmaster Om Kumar will be attempting a level 1, project 1 from the presentation mastery path. His speech duration is 4 to 5 minutes. To evaluate his speech, we have Toastmaster Venkataseshan. Toastmaster Venkataseshan, I request you to read out his speech objectives. Over to you, Toastmaster Venkataseshan.
TMOD. So I'll be doing the candid evaluation of today's speaker, Om Kumar. He will be delivering his speech on presentation mastery level 1, project 1, Icebreaker. This will be his first speech in the club. The purpose of this project is to introduce himself to the club and also to understand the basic structure of public speaking. The purpose of this speech is to write and deliver a speech about any topic and introduce himself to the club. All the best, Om Kumar. Timer, please note the timing will be 4 to 6 minutes. Over to you, Modi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Venkataseshan. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Om Kumar. Toastmaster Om Kumar, live for nothing but die for something. Live for nothing but die for something. Toastmaster Om Kumar, all the very best. Over to you.
Thank you, dear Modi, and a happy birthday to you.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Om Kumar, and I'm a technical writer by profession. I joined Toastmasters to develop my communication skills, in particular to beat the demon inside. Today is my icebreaker session, and I'm going to walk you through about who I am. I was brought up in a small town called Schrodinger in Vellore district. As you all know, Vellore district is famous for its hot weather. I'm not sure if it is because of Vellore district's hot weather or because my father was a headmaster. I was always a bit dumb in my younger days. In all my mathematics exams until 6th standard, I consistently scored single-digit marks, in spite of my dad being a maths teacher. Though I was a bit dumb in my younger days, I was unique in my own ways. I was very good at screwing up things. When I was 10 years old, I made an experiment. It was a pleasant day, close to noon, 11:45, 11:50. I was wearing a shorts, nothing on top. I liked burning these cracker powders. The sound it produced fascinated me a lot. I collected 15 to 20 bijli crackers, removed the cracker powders, filled it in a Coke tin, and top it up with cracker wicks. I was all set to go. There was a shepherd who was sitting in our gate's shade. My father was reading newspaper at the hall. My mom was in the kitchen. After I lit the cracker wicks for the next 2 minutes, I did not hear anything. I heard only the sound going, that sound. That shepherd, he ran away. My mom came out, she was speaking something, but I couldn't hear anything. It was the usual puja. I quietly walked inside my home. I started feeling the burning sensation because of the blast, not serious though. My father, he slowly turned towards me like this old pedestal table fan. He stared at me for a few seconds. And again, he slowly turned towards his newspaper and he got buried in his newspaper. This is how my childhood days passed with some high drama. Right from my childhood days, I had a craze for movies. I watched Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, Malayalam, Kannada, and Hollywood movies. My all-time favorite actor is superstar Rajinikanth. I had such an attraction towards that guy. I even developed this style, like this, for which I even got punishment for in my school days. In 1995, Basha movie was released. Being a die-hard fan of Rajinikanth, I have to watch that movie. Everybody was talking about that movie. The movies like this, the movies like that. So me and my friend decided that somehow we will escape from our hostel where we were preparing for our public exams, get night show tickets and enjoy the movie. So as planned, on a Friday night, we went, we got the tickets, we started enjoying the movie. First time watching the Basha movie, it's an absolutely fantastic experience. After some time, we noticed that a guy sitting 2 rows ahead was familiar to us. To our worst nightmare, it was our hostel warden. We thought he came here to catch us, but actually he has lied to everybody saying that he had some work, but he has actually come here to watch the Basha movie. We didn't even go out for break thinking that the guy might see us. So quietly we watched the movie. Silently we went back to the hostel. So this is how my teenage passed with some entertainment. After my graduation, after a very long search, I got a job. In my second company, I met someone with whom I have to live for the rest of my life. It was a love-cum arranged marriage. As expected, my parents opposed for that. I resisted with registration marriage. My parents agreed with one condition. We are from Telugu family, and the girl's side was also from a Telugu family, but they don't know anything in Telugu other than the word Telugu. So my father said, after the marriage, the girl has to learn and speak only in Telugu. It's been 10 years since I got married, but both my parents speaking only in Tamil. So this is how my middle age is passing on with some fun. As I told you at the beginning of the speech, I was a bit dumb in my younger days. Only at a very later stage, I started developing interest in many things, slowly killing my fear. In 2009, I developed interest in traveling after visiting Kodai with my friends. At the age of 33, I developed interest in badminton. I even participated in few tournaments. Most recently, I developed interest in swimming. Somehow I overcame my fear and learned swimming. At a very, very late stage in my life, I understood one thing. The purpose of living an empty life, but still having a meaningful passion towards something that satisfies our soul. Live for nothing, but die for something. Over to you, Modi.
So thank you, Toastmaster Om Kumar. This was really an amazing icebreaker. So next, the second speaker for this round is Dr. Tk Sundaram. When I asked him about the thought to share his thoughts on the theme, according to him, Gandhiji is a great communicator of all the times who told things in simple language without fear. So to evaluate Toastmaster Sundaram speech, we have DTM Thomas. So DTM Thomas, request you to please read out the speech objectives.
Thank you very much. My belated birthday greetings to you. Good afternoon, everybody. Toastmaster Dr. Sundaram is going to do his icebreaker, that is project number 1 in level number 1 in innovative planning. Timer, kindly note, it's 4 to 6 minutes for the maiden speech. All the best to you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yes, sir, it is audible.
Okay. உலகத்தோடு ஒட்ட ஒழுகல் அலகற்றும் கல்லார் அறிவிலாதார். This is a Tirukural, meaning that you have to live in this world in harmony with others. Hey, stand up on the bench. Stand up on the bench. Dear TM Modi and fellow Toastmasters, that was the voice heard by the boy about many years back in class 4. Hey, stand up on the bench. You have revolted in your house and you want to become a vegetarian. Of course, the ordeal went for 3 days and subsequently the teacher told, oh, hell with this boy. He is actually a hard nut to crack. Please leave him. He did his engineering, civil engineering, and his master's in structural engineering from PhD College, Coimbatore, and was an eligible bachelor with a job. But his relatives told, oh, he is a grass eater. We can't give the girl to him. Then my mother actually managed a teenage girl, and she was so intelligent and she well fitted into the mold of the boy, and they had a very harmonious life. After 10 years of service in PWD in Tamil Nadu, the boy moved to NRSA, Hyderabad, then to Ranchi, and in Ranchi he had a MBA Operation Research from Xavier Institute, then moved to Delhi to join NPCC as the youngest super engineer at the age of 36. Later, he did his PhD from IIT Delhi and had, of course, he actually did very well in that and got his actually next job as a general manager in rides. He became an expert on metro systems as well as contract management, and by this time he has traveled almost all the states in India. There are two things happened. When he went on tour to Nepal, the ambassador invited him here along with his team for a dinner. He served everything, but when he learned that this boy is actually a teetotaler and vegetarian, he stopped the whole dinner and said, actually, sorry. That actually impacted him and made him to be tolerant to the food habits of others and wanted to learn much more on that. And of course, he became an expert in entertaining guests and others without even consuming him later. Other incident, they went to Vietnam. In the market, oh, Karmam, what are you doing? Oh, where have you brought me? The wife screamed. Hey, darling, what happened? See the dog head? Oh, darling, it is their culture, their food habits. Please be tolerant. Let us enjoy the Halong Bay in Vietnam and the seashore of long seashore, which is very beautiful. Let us not bother for this. Later on, in the next 20 years, he got 10 postings and in different countries and also visited another 10 countries. He became the executive director of AECOM, one of the best consulting company, and doing very well. Probably that's number 1 in the world now. Of course, wherever I go, I make it a point to visit to the museums of those areas, and when I visit, I collect and see in-depthly everything there. Actually, I had been to more than 20 world-class museums, and in the Hermitage of Leningrad, I saw the beautiful original pictures of Vincent van Gogh, and in Dubai, in London, especially in British Museum, I had a date with Kalyana Sundareswarar from Mumbai, from Madurai, who was sitting there. You understand it. Then whenever I visit other places, I make it a point to see the area in detail. A visit to Nelson Mandela's house, who is actually a great communicator like Gandhiji, is actually, I made me to ponder into his life. Then I had some good things in life, especially I enjoyed, especially teaching in IIT, IIM, and University Malaya. Then the convocation of my son in UK, London, especially from Imperial College. Then comes actually, of course, I have more than 4,200 friends throughout the world in LinkedIn and more than 300 of them in Facebook. And I regularly communicate with them and learn much more from them all the time. I'm in the process of learning. Of course, once I had actually a dinner in the City Hall of Stockholm, that is where Nobel laureates are entertained. That is also another good thing. Dear friends, the life is very short. According to how we are, it is actually kattadu mannalavu. That is actually whatever we learned is very small. And now actually be tolerant and lead a good life with harmony. There is no perfection in this world. There is nothing perfect in this world. Over to you.
Thank you, DTM. Thank you, Toastmaster Sundaram, for your nice speech, and got to know that you have learned a lot in your life journey. So let's move on to the next speaker. The third speaker for this round is our founder president, DTM VN Subramanian. The one, according to him, the opinion on the theme is the one and only declassified leader of the world is Mahatma Gandhi. So to evaluate his speech, we have Toastmaster Atishay. Toastmaster Atishay, I request you to please read out the speech objectives. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster VNS is doing the project presentation mastery, and today he'll be giving his speech, level 1, project 2, evaluation and feedback. This is the first speech, and the purpose of this project is for the Toastmaster to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and then apply that feedback to a second speech. The time for this speech is between 5 to 7 minutes. Wish you all the best, Toastmaster VNS.
Thank you, Toastmaster Atishay. Now I welcome DTM Toastmaster VN Subramanian to present his speech. DTM VN Subramanian, hide and seek, DTM VN Subramanian. Over to you. All the very best.
Friends, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests. Today is Gandhi Jayanti, and all of you know that TMOD has read what I told about the declassified. The only declassified leader world has seen is Mahatma Gandhi. And the information for all of you is where Gandhi started wearing that single dhoti, which location, which place. Gandhi started wearing single cloth in Madurai, Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu has got that credit of giving Gandhi the first dhoti. Sad, suicidal, or lost. Sad, suicidal, or lost. It is always better to speak to somebody. If you have a communication with somebody, and if you have a talk with somebody, before getting to the edge of frustration, it may recover you from that tragic situation. Communication has got that strength. Now here in Toastmasters, you would have seen mentor, trainer, guide, coach, life coach. Number of trainers and coaching people are here. And presentations after presentations are done here. And in the case of a presentation, there will be about 10 to 12 slides show. And the speaker will not look at the face of the audience. He will be looking at the screen. And the audience also will be looking at the slides. So any presentation in Toastmasters or any other corporates or companies, it has got not a direct impact or effect on the subject which is being discussed. For a speaker should be having the quality of candor or honesty, integrity. Because a speaker's objective, communication, as I said, is a very important and a powerful tool. Only 10% of the communication is being communicated. For the subject, objective of the speech will be only 10%. Balance 90% is preparing the audience. The preparation of the audience. If there is a communication gap, means there is no gap in the communication, but there is a wide gap in the preparation of the speech. And everybody is thinking, listening, thinking, and speaking. Better listening, better thinking, and better speaking. Better reading also. Better speaking, better thinking. Everybody is thinking. You ask anybody, he will say that I am thinking, I was thinking. Suppose all the people are thinking, then who will do the thing? So this speaking is an art. It comes from the thoughts. According to the researchers, they say that there are millions of thoughts coming to a person every day. So millions of thoughts coming means all the thoughts are converted into action and action to performance. A personality is unfolded. We used to say ecstatic, enchanting personality, dynamic personality, magnetic personality, awesome personality, astounding personality, wonderful personality. All these are coming from the thoughts. If thoughts are noble, good, the communication will also be noble and good. We have to improve upon our thought process or thoughts. Thoughts are based on the values, what we are with it. If we have noble values, strong values, positive values, optimistic values, then our thoughts also will be the same, and the action will also be the same, and our performance will be of a mesmeric personality, and we will be performing excellence. For you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, DTM VN Subramanian, for the wonderful speech. You covered the different aspects of communication. So let's move on to the next speaker. The fourth speaker for this round is Toastmaster Amita. Her thoughts about the theme is she believes that Gandhiji's non-violence act was the best, and his silence spoke more than the words of anger. Toastmaster Amita will be attempting level 4 project 1 from the motivational strategies path. To evaluate her speech, we have Toastmaster Sundaration. Toastmaster Sundaration, request you to read out her speech objectives. Over to you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. Toastmaster Amita is going to give her speech based on motivational strategies, level 4, P1, motivate others. Purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to motivate team members through the completion of a project. Member is to share some aspect of her experience motivating team member through the completion of a project. My good wishes to Madam Toastmaster Amita. Over to Toastmaster of the day.
Now I welcome Toastmaster Amita to present her speech. Toastmaster Amita, motivate others. Motivate others, Toastmaster Amita. Over to you. All the very best.
Thank you so much, Aishwarya. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you so much. Last Saturday morning, I woke up cheerfully with a lot of satisfaction with the work that me and my team had pulled off during the last week. That was the day we were going to get all of our work approved and get a big green signal from our head of department for making our dream event a reality. One of my teammates spent the last night giving the final check with all of our work. Another had skipped so many of our classes to make sure the event and the approval gets to meet success. Another teammate of mine and I had finished coordinating with all of our extended team members by giving each of them a task and duty at hand that they will have to complete as soon as this sign was given on our proposal sheet. Toastmaster today, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Could we have pulled this off any better? I did think so. I did not think so. On that day, when the four of us got into the gates of our college, we walked with a breath of big relief. Climbing 4 flights of stairs never looked so easy before. We climbed up with a lot of speed. We were running on the flights of stairs. The event proposal was proposed in 3 days. From getting registration to fixing a budget to finding judges to getting the trophies and the certificates, everything was carried out in perfection and noting to every minute detail. My college climbs up and motivates all of us by giving us an opportunity to experience what it is like to be in a student cabinet. Most colleges have a student council, but mine is a bit different. We have a prime minister, ministers, deputy ministers, and members of parliament under each ministry. I was happy when I got elected as a minister, as one of the 8 ministers of my college, but little did I know the challenges that it would bring me in the end. As we went into the department staff room, there my HOD was sitting there noting down all of her points, which I had no idea what it was about. She froze as I walked in, along with my friends. She stopped, she stared at us, and she said, "Only the minister, enter." My friends jolted and they froze, and I walked in. I presented all of our work to her over a pen. I presented all of our work to her and asked her for her signature. She skimmed through all the pages as I handed over a pen and pointed at the place where she had to sign. She looked into my eyes and said, "Anita, stop making me furious. I am done with this. Stop putting your anxiety on all of us. You have worked well and all that, but the budgeting is way too high. Even though I told you a million times, I don't see any change in the budget. And I want you to get your team together and finish this off today." I couldn't help tearing up because I am a person who tears up very easily when someone raises their voice at me. They can say anything they want to me in a soft tone, and I will listen. And when she raised her voice at me, I couldn't help tearing up. All of the work that my teammates have put into over the last week is completely ruined. We tried asking her several times before as so much the budget as what the budget should be under, and she never gave us a proper explanation. She always said, "Come up with a budget and I will approve it." And she either said that or she censored all of our messages on WhatsApp. And thank you for the opportunity to go to college offline twice or thrice a week for us to make this happen. With a very heavy heart and a teardrop rolling down my face, I went up to my team and with a lot of candor, I told them the news. I told them carefully and softly that maybe it wasn't on our end. It was just a small communication gap where the teachers did not explain to us what they were expecting of us. And we could not comprehend anything because of the technology gap. It wasn't the teacher's fault either, is what I said. And hearing that line, one of my teammates got furious. She said she wouldn't work anymore. And she started to burst out in anger and talking all sorts of words which are not supposed to be heard. Such emotions with a lot of work in hand in the event in 3 days was completely uncalled for. And two others in my team, without saying, started crying, even worse than I did. And seeing them, I had to stop. My faculty in charge called me separately and told me softly, "Anita, success is not final. Failure is not final. It is the courage to continue that counts." I looked into all of your work and I thought it was flawless. If there is just something that you can do about this and make this budget work, I am sure nobody can stop from this event becoming a grand success. Go, say to your team, make them understand that it's just a small setback to something really big. One line, that's all it took. One line and a smiley friend, a smiley face, that's all it took to get me back to my senses. I walked over to my team, gave them a big hug of comfort, whispered to them that it was fine and we got this. The anger came down. The teared up faces slowly started to change into a small upward curve. We got into a classroom, sat together, and quickly reworked and went back to our HOD in an hour's time. She simply looked up at me, down at the paper, took up a pen, signed it, and said, "Go ahead. This event will be a success. But just make sure that you don't get emotional and get all unstable at the moment." And then, so it was. The event was indeed a grand success. It was appreciated and looked upon by every participant, winner, and organizer. At times, all we have to do is hold each other's hands, stick together, and walk through life with the will to achieve. Push yourself because nobody is going to do that for you. You did not come this far only to come this far. And you have miles to go, TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amita, for the excellent speech. So with this, we have come to the end of the prepared speech session. Timer, request you to share the qualified speakers. Timer, Venkat.
Hi. Madam, all the 4 speakers are qualified, madam.
That's great. Zoom Master, can we have the polling now? So Zoom Master, is it done?
Yeah, still a few have not yet voted. However, I'm closing the poll now.
Yeah.
Over to you, Timothy.
Thank you, Zoom Master. So once Gandhiji visited England, a reporter asked him what he thought of Western civilization. Fellow Toastmasters, any guess about his reply? Just give it a try. Any guess? Okay. So he famously replied, I think it would be a good idea. So Gandhiji is a quick-witted and humorous person. From this dialogue itself, we can understand he has a very good sense of humor. Hope that inspires today's table topic session. To provide us with a challenging for today's topic session round, we have the table topic master TM Subhashini. So thoughts from TM Subhashini on the theme is while every individual bring something special with them to offer to the public, and Mahatma has incredible and strong messages to the community for a change that he envisioned to achieve. Now I would like to welcome the table topic master Subhashini to run the session. Over to you, Toastmaster Subhashini.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Here we are to be on the feet and have a very great session, the table topic session. Table topic session especially has 4 qualities that it brings to the speaker: listening, thinking, organizing, and delivering. So we are all here to do just that. And table topic is not just for the members. Also, I ask the guests to get ready to participate in this table topic session. As we are celebrating Gandhi Jayanti, what not except the Gandhi's quotes that we have heard, but today is the time that I want to reflect on such sayings from all of you here. So I would also like to mention the timing for the table topics would be 1 to 2 minutes. The timer, please note, like he will flash his green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1.5, and red at 2 minutes. And every speaker is given 30 seconds grace period to qualify for voting. Having this in mind, please go for a minute and do not exceed 2.5 minutes. Are you all ready? Okay, fine, great. So, okay, let's go with the first topic. There is no God higher than truth. There is no God higher than truth. This topic, I would like to give it to Toastmaster Raghunath Mishra. Are you there? Raghunath Mishra, are you there? I can't see him. Okay. Toastmaster Shiva.
He's just re-entering, Raghunath Mishra.
Okay, maybe
he's in now.
Okay. Toastmaster Raghunath Mishra. Did you listen to the topic?
No, sorry, I was kicked out just now. I logged in again.
Okay, fine. So your topic, do you want a minute or two? Should I come later to you?
Yeah, maybe that will be there.
Okay, fine. Okay, so let me call Toastmaster Dharan.
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So I'm taking the topic, is it?
Yes. Should I tell the topic again?
Yeah, it would be great.
Yes. There is no God higher than the truth.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, very good afternoon. So I have read that book, My Experiment with Truth by Mahatma Gandhi. So in that book, Mahatma Gandhi mostly talk about fitness and his belief about particular philosophy and simplicity, right? So when I thought about that, he is a great follower of Hinduism, and I thought he would speak more about Hinduism, but I could not see any kind of religious advisors and religious practice in that. In the other side, he was talking that we have to go deep inside ourselves and we have to find out the truth and the meaning of our life, and we have to follow that. So that was the message of that particular book, and the famous message I always love from him, which is strength doesn't come from physical capacity, it comes from indomitable will. So that is the crux of that particular book. And so I always believe that truth is very important than God, because I don't believe in God because I'm an atheist. So that's the inspiration I got from Mahatma Gandhi, and that's it. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dharan. What insights a book can bring is, an example. And I guess the right topic has come to you because you're an atheist, and then, truth stands higher for you. That's very nice to know from you. Thank you so very much for attempting that table topic. Let's move on to the second topic. To Toastmaster Raghunath Mishra, are you ready?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, fine. True beauty consists of purity of heart. True beauty consists of purity of heart. What do you have to say about it?
Okay. Thank you, table topic master. So the moment the TT session started, I was kicked out of this meeting, and as usual, I have a fear of table topics. So am I audible, by the way? Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So the moment I kicked out, first thing that came to my mind is like everyone would be thinking like this guy tried to move out of the table topic. Now coming to the table topic of the day. In this world, the only thing that prevails is truth. The person who speaks truth, it's not just speaking to the truth to himself, a person truth to himself. Whatever he say, whatever he believe, if he has that faith on that thing, then I think he is the person, the trustworthy person of this in this universe. That's what I would like to say. Over to you, Toastmaster Swasini.
Right, everything flowers from the heart, and that should be your motive. We'll take Mishra sir. Thank you so very much. So the next topic is peace is its own reward. Peace is itself its own reward. This topic I would like to give it to guest. Would you like to attempt? Guest Moinak? People keep moving out. Okay, maybe Toastmaster Saravanan, can you take this topic?
Sure, I can take, but you have to repeat me.
Okay, peace in it is its own reward.
Peace in his own reward.
Peace is its own reward.
Yeah, okay. Actually, I mean, what is more important here is the inner peace. When we are at peace, that is what is more important. That is when we can self-inspect ourselves to understand what is more important in life, as well as how we are impacting others' life. So that is more important. So once you have that self-reflection, what is more important is it will reflect on others as well. So the peace has its own reward. How to attain that peace? There are 3 ways to do that. One is meditation. You have to at least spend 30 minutes of your time for introspection as well as meditation, because what is more important is not only from a physical perspective, mental perspective, you have to be strong spiritually also. That is where it will help. So meditation is the first thing. Second thing is empathy. So you have to empathize with others. When you put yourself on others' shoes, that is when you believe that you are positively impacting the other person. So empathy is more important. Third is positive attitude, because when you are positive, that reflects on yourself as well as on the others as well. You have a positive aura around you. The aura behind me, it's not because of the positive aura. It's because of this shine that is coming from the mirror. Okay, that is different totally. But I'm also a positive person. But these are the three important things: empathy, self-reflection, meditation, as well as the positive thing that you have. It is what is more important. And when you have these things, you can become the next Gandhi also, because peace is the biggest reward that you can get. Over to the TT Master.
Wow, what a organized table topic speech that was. You just had imbibed best 3 points. Always 3 has this very meaningful thing. The triads, anything with 3 is always special. So you really made a top-notch points for us to understand peace by itself is a reward. Thank you so very much, Toastmaster Saravanan, for your take on the topic. So the next topic is, nothing is so aggravating as calmness. Nothing is so aggravating as calmness. Can I request the guest Lakshmi Ramesh? Would you like to try this topic? Guest Lakshmi Ramesh, are you there? Okay. So I'll go to Toastmaster Uday Kumar. Can you take this topic?
Yes, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So when we just talk about calmness, we have been just told multiple things about calmness. Even we can just avoid a lot of problems being calm. And the people who are being calm will just really have a very, pleasant life. Because I have never experienced this until I was just 25, lesser than old. But when I just become, as I just grow, but I really understand so many things. And when we really make ourselves calm and peace in so many places, we will be able to just make a very peaceful life, and we can just avoid a lot of problems. And it's a kind of serene feeling we get when we just maintain that state. So over to you, Kelly.
Okay, thank you. That was quite quick. Thank you for speaking on calmness. Maybe now go to the next topic. Without action, you aren't going anywhere. I repeat, without action, you aren't going anywhere. This topic I'd like to give to Toastmaster Karthikeyan.
Hi, Subhasini. Hi, Subhasini. Okay, I can take that. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and guest. It is a good topic. Without action, we can't do anything. Correct? Without action, we can't do anything. Yes. Actually, in my life, I can say without action, I in my college life, in my right now, I'm working in the company. Everything is I have took one more step in my life. Actually, I'm studying and I adopt the new technology, adopting the new friend circle. I have to learn more thing from with action. Last year, with action, I put the last Corona. I had did the 2 action plan. I did it. I get the good result. But unfortunately, Corona came and all the result also collapsed. It is a first action. I did the very hard work and smart work. I get the great award from a client, so that I get the on-site opportunities in US. But unfortunately, lottery is not selected. And with action, right now I have put the one more action plan. I have planned to do the another countries. It is my plan. So I have to improve my communication skill. I have to speak with more and I speak with the client, so that if work is not important, how we are delivering the work, that is very important. So that I have to plan to do with action. Over to you, Toastmaster TTM Subhasini.
Thank you so very much, Toastmaster Karthikeyan, because any plan without action, doesn't yield anything. So that was rightly said from your personal story. Thank you so very much for taking this topic. Timer, do we have time? Can I go for another topic? Yeah, okay, fine. So the next topic is, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. Any volunteers to take this topic, please? Any volunteers? Yes, sir. Venkatesan. Yes. Sir, you're on mute.
Sorry, table topic master. Thank you for the nice topic. The weakest person is always will, if you think about the past incidents, you should move forward, fast forward in your life in this competitive world. Instead of thinking about that, either in personal life or in the official life, somebody is doing like this, somebody did like that. If you think like that, you cannot come up in your life. You cannot pursue in your career also. That is my own experience. Always, life is full of opportunities. Instead of thinking about the negativity, you can think and you can move fast forward in your life. That is why whenever, even when I'm driving a car or a two-wheeler, you know that in Chennai, they used to criticize you, like auto wallahs, suddenly they will cross, and two-wheelers, they will come and say that what you were driving without indicator, they used to do all these things. You'll get a BP. Once you come out from your house at 9 o'clock, it's a full of problem. Till you enter in the office, even in the office, workplace, you will have a lot of problem. Like a team leader will say it. The team leader will talk about you. The junior will say that Venkat is not teaching me properly. Like there will be a conference, video conference. The client will insist you. How can you say that my website is act by third one? Can you show me the proof and all? You know, life is full of opportunities. You have to use it. From the failures, you have to learn it. From the success, according to my dictionary, success is not a destination. Like success is not a permanent place also. Failures will occur. On the failures, we should learn that how to avoid the fail for the second time. Like Albert Einstein, Thomas Alva Edison, he invented more than 900 patents. And he said that after inventing the tungsten bulb, electric bulb, he said that 900 ways not to test, not to find out the electric. He took it in a positive way. That is why he filed more than 900 patent applications as an individual person till date, more than 200 years. That is why my intention is, life is full of opportunity. Take a positive steps. Even in the failure, you should listen that, okay, you are not supposed to do like that way. Then that is the reason you committed a mistake. That is why I request everyone, instead of thinking negative, always positive in your life. Thank you for a nice topic, table topic master.
Thank you so much, sir. While you spoke a lot on positivity side, thank you so very much. The next topic, I would like to call the guest Mohammed Mustafa. Mohammed Mustafa.
Yeah.
Great. The topic is, a man is but a product of his thoughts. What he thinks, he becomes. I repeat, a man is but a product of his thoughts. What he thinks, he becomes.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. I completely agree with the topic that man is actually product of his thoughts, because there is a saying that what you think becomes your thought, and it's basically, your thoughts becomes your action, and your actions become your character. So we have to be quite mindful about our thoughts, because there are so much of distractions in the world which pushes us to think negatively. There are so many things happening around us which is actually pushing us to think negatively. And when we start thinking negatively, we imbibe those actions which are negative for the external society. And we have to make sure that we have to be positive. As always, it is like the makeup which you put every day. It comes out, you next day again put up the makeup and again go back outside, and that is how you present to the world the best of yours. And when you do that, okay, when you are positive, you become, spread the happiness, positiveness to all across the world. And I believe that that's the way we should be. And we have to make sure that our thoughts are positive, and we should be like that always. Over to you.
Thank you so very much. That's beautifully said. Because somewhere I read that we are creating machines. So if at all we want something, we actually have to put that thought in. So I guess brilliant quotes, and you really interpreted it well. Thank you so very much for taking this topic. Next topic, let's go to, is there any volunteers who would like to volunteer for the next topic? Who have not taken roles? Om Kumar, do you want to try?
I already given my speech today.
Okay, fine. Yes, right. Okay, so, okay, Ranga sir, Toastmaster Ranga sir, the topic is for you. Okay, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. This is my very favorite, so I would like you to take this topic. I'll again repeat, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others.
Well, thank you for the excellent topic, TM Subhashini. Having been in the corporate world for more than 35 years, I came back to India and I was just being with my parents when suddenly the floods of 2015 came in. And on that day, I had an epiphany. I was thinking, what is it? In fact, we had electricity and we had everything. We didn't have any difficulty when the floods were just on. And I was thinking, what is it that I need now? So immediately I remembered one of the NGOs that I have been associated with for a long time. I just simply sent an SMS to him. Is there any way that I could help? That's all. And within a minute and a half, I got a response. Why don't you come over? We need a lot of help. And that was the day I started my second innings, so to say, with an NGO. And it continued for quite a while. And it was only during that time I realized that even though I'm very privileged, when I'm going and doing something for the sake of humanity, it has given me more positivity and the feeling of doing something for the society. It has been an excellent journey for the last 6 years now. I don't think I would trade it for anything else. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir, because that's the time probably everyone would have realized the importance of, human beings trying to help human beings. And in Thiruvalluvar also would have quoted in Thirukural that, a person who's said to be very strong when he can actually withhold his hunger. But a strongest person is somebody who actually helps someone, let go of hunger, like to feed somebody. So I guess service is something is going to multifold our happiness. This is something that I guess every human being really, really have to do if at all you need happiness in life. So thank you so very much for attempting Toastmaster Ranga. Can I go for another topic? One more topic?
Yeah, now that you invited President, why don't we invite EVP also?
Yes. Fine. So, sir, are you ready?
Of course.
Okay. Freedom is not worth having if it does not include the freedom to make mistakes. Freedom is not worth having if it does not include the freedom to make mistakes. What do you have to say about it, sir?
Good afternoon, Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Thanks especially to DTM Guru for trapping me. Freedom to make mistakes. In fact, 2 ways of looking at this is there. One way is by doing mistakes, you learn. Next time you do better. I don't want that today. Then I want freedom to make mistakes. Just for the heck of it, go and make mistakes. No questions asked. What is there in it? There's a lot of fun. When you do something and something goes wrong, people always give too much importance to succeeding. Success, okay, it's there, but it's not beyond a limit. There's no value in success. But doing is the actual experience. Doing something is the actual reward. So when you do something, you fail, you get another opportunity to do. It means making mistakes is a better option than not making mistakes. I may be sounding funny, but it is what happens if you know how to look at life. If you are going to become sulky for everything that goes wrong, you are never going to enjoy life. You should enjoy your success, but you should be ready to enjoy your failures also. So go ahead and make mistakes. And this squares very nicely with the Toastmaster philosophy. In fact, I have heard some Toastmasters say it in a very, very blunt manner. Come here and do mistakes. What they mean is, if you do a mistake here, nobody will find fault with you. People will applaud you for the effort and you will have more opportunity to improve. But making mistakes is easily accepted in Toastmasters too. So what are we waiting for? What is the point in not making any mistake? Go ahead and keep on making mistakes, just like a child when he starts walking, it keeps on falling and keeps on getting up. Back to the TT Master.
Thank you so very much. That was a brilliant take on the topic, because that topic really is required today, because mistakes are the biggest teacher or a guide that we have, because every mistake, it instills something very strong in our mind that the next time we'll never do it. So I guess mistakes are fortune in disguise, I would say. Thank you so very much, Toastmaster Sampath Sauri Rajan, for taking this topic. So with this, we come to the session. But before I close the session, I would like to give a small story, a very small story. There was a professor who gave balloons to all the students in the classroom, said like, you blow the air, write your name, mark your name on the balloon and throw it in the hall.
A table topic, Master, can we have 2 more topics, because we have still 6 minutes left?
Okay, fine. So, okay, fine. So, okay, let's go for another topic then. Now, who would like to volunteer? Can you please unmute and tell who would like to volunteer, please? Okay, I'll only pick. Can I call Toastmaster Amita? Guest Lakshmi Ramesh, are you there?
Lakshmi Ramesh, you are on mute. Could you please unmute yourself?
Is there any other guest?
No, I'm not able to communicate with her in the tool.
Okay, fine. So, okay, Toastmaster Amita, can I have you? I know you were a speaker, but still.
Yeah, is that fine? If I'm
Yeah,
speaker as well?
I guess it's fine.
Okay. Just a minute.
Okay.
Yes, Subhash.
Action expresses priorities. Action expresses priorities. What you do says what is most important to you. What you do says what is more important to you.
Thank you, Subhashni, for giving me an opportunity to attempt table topics of a really long time. In fact, it is really true that actions speak out your priorities, because although you think that you are really busy the entire day, you will still find the 5 minutes to talk to the person who's really special to you. And that shows priority. Even if there are so many things that are running on your mind, if you know that one of your friends are sad, you will make sure that you be there for them at the end of the day. And I think that's the best way to show that your actions speak priority. And I don't think any empty words would be equivalent to the actions you show them at the right moment. And there will be so many instances in our life that we can easily speak out empty words and tell them that, give them false promises, false hopes. But I think actions are the only thing that will help you to understand who really means stuff they say and who they don't. And in that way, I think all of us would have realized how important the actions are. And indeed, action speaks louder than words and not only shows priority. So that's all I've got to say. Thank you, Subhash.
Thank you so much, Amita, because we, at least our generation, we always want to boast things, but in actions, at least myself, I fail a lot of times, and it shows what is my priority. So action speaks louder, and that was a great take on the topic. Thank you so very much. Is there any other volunteers for the last one topic?
No, TT Master, I would prefer stopping over here because of a technical snag. The polling does not allow me to add any more table topic speakers.
Okay,
so
fine. So I'd like just tell the story that I wanted to share with all of you here before I close the session. So there was a professor who actually in the classroom, he called up all the children and said, like, fill up this balloon, mark your name on this and leave it in the hall. Now the hall is filled with balloons. Now he says, okay, now everyone go and search and pick your name balloon, the balloon which has your name. The kids are going and like searching and searching for so long, but none of them could find their balloons which has their name. They said like after a lot of, few minutes, they said, sorry, sir, it's really difficult. The professor just told the students, just hold on, wait. Whatever balloon that comes to your hand, please go and reach out to that kid. Then every kid in 5 minutes got their balloons in hand, their respective balloons in hand. So the professor said to the students, this is how our life is also. We are all, we are all like looking for happiness for us. But in turn, when we give happiness to the other person, happiness will find its way to us back. So this is something that I guess in Gandhi Jayanti, we can actually take that it is our responsibility to not find happiness, but to give happiness. With that, I'm sure we all have a roller coaster of, like the quotes from Mahatma Gandhi, which probably will inflict a lot of things, resonate, and, understand what he is about to say as a human being. I guess we will be better human beings after this session. Thank you so very much for participating and for this great session. Over to you, TMOD, Toastmaster Aishwarya.
Thank you, TT Master. That was really an interesting TT session, and you finally ended up with an interesting, inspiring story. Thank you for that. May I request the timer to share the qualified speakers?
Sure, madam. Only one person disqualified is Mr. Uday, and the rest of all qualified, madam. Tables.
Sorry, who is disqualified?
Mr. Uday. Can you see my screen, sir?
Yes.
No problem. I'm just arranging the pool. That's why I asked.
Thank you, timer. Maybe you can unshare your screen. So, Zoom Master, can we have the polling now?
Yeah. Yeah, polling closed.
Great. Thank you, Zoom Master. Okay, so Gandhiji had some outstanding traits. Number 1, objectivity, and number 2, observance, and number 3, judgment. Good judgment comes from experience. Let's move on to the next session, evaluation, an important round of the Toastmasters meeting. In this round, constructive feedback is given to each speaker so that members can benefit from the experience of evaluators and become better speakers. I would now like to hand over the session to General Evaluator of the Day, DTM Guru Prasad, to conduct this session. Over to you, DTM Guru Prasad.
Thank you very much, TM Modi. Friends, I'm back again with my team B delivering their session now. So as we saw, Mahatma Gandhi also took a pass at various phases of his life, right from childhood, when he had a small issue with his father at the time when he did something that are not acceptable by the society, or major decisions where he took in South Africa or India. He always took a pass, looked back, evaluated what happened and what were the results, and followed his directions. He also had mentors for him, though we call him as father of nation. Gopal Krishna Gokhale was one of his great mentors. He also followed the teachings of some of the people. Like this, we have a team of evaluators. For the respective speeches, a person will come and give their feedback to motivate the performer to do better from next time onwards. To begin with, the first speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Venkataseshan, who is basically an IT sales professional and a very active Toastmaster in Medley Toastmasters Club. He is inspired by the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhiji, because he feels leaders like Gandhiji have proven that to be a sustainable leader, one needs to have integrity, strong fundamental belief on social well-being above personal interests. Unlike that days, the above values had given him an advantage being a powerful communicator and an influencer. With these inspiring words from Venkateshan, I would like to invite him to present his evaluation for the first speaker. Over to you, Venkateshan.
General Evaluator. Congratulations, Om Kumar, on completing your icebreaker speech with a fantabulous tale. In Talaiba's words, how is it? Superb. You had a candid introduction about yourself, such that all the Toastmasters have known very well about you, about your childhood, about your college life, and about your romantic life so far. So kudos to you. You have kept the audience interesting and engaged with the audience till from the start of the speech till end of your speech. The second thing is the humorous way that you brought in, the sense that you brought in your speech. I am pretty sure if you had participated in the humorous speech contest last week, you would have given a run for all the winners in the last week's club contest. Your humor sense was perfect and excellent in every aspect of your speech, either from the opening statement or in the body or in the finishing statement of your entire speech. You had brought in the clear sense of humor all through. So congratulations on that. The third one is the clarity in your thoughts and how coherently you brought those thoughts in your speech. You have delivered very clear speech and brought whatever you thought to deliver in the speech today. You also brought how you are passionate about learning new things, whether it be swimming or badminton, how you are successful and your recent entry into Toastmasters. And I hope this will bring a big change in your life and it will ensure that you live for something. Though I have a few areas of improvement which I would like to share with you. The first one is the hand gesture. Though you had hand gesture throughout your speech, you could have used your body language better. You could have used it very relatably better, which will enhance your speech. So this you could do by rehearsing yourself either in front of the mirror or with some videography. You have a lot of options available in your project manual which you could use. So this will improve your reach to the audience. Your voice clarity was very good, but you could have brought more emotional variety in your speech. This could have boosted more interest into the audience because I felt somewhere it was monotonous throughout. But I would like to say, whenever you spoke about Rajinikanth or Basha movie, you brought all your emotions aptly and appropriately in your speech. So you could learn from that itself how you could bring the emotional variety. To wrap it up, you had a very good sense of humor, clarity in your thoughts and delivering it in your speech, bringing vocal variety, breaking the monotony, will make find a perfect place for you in public speaking and Medley Toastmasters. All the best, Om Kumar. Thank you. Over to you, G.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Evaluator, I think you're on mute.
You're on mute, Guru.
Sir, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about this. I have too many things happening as a Zoom master, as other things. Well, the next evaluation, while we thank Toastmaster Venkateshan for his first evaluation, I would like to invite the next evaluator of the second speech of today's project session, which is none other than distinguished Toastmaster Thomas T. Abraham. He has one unique thing. Basically, he comes from a background of communications. His career itself had been communications. So he then, without flaring up his ego as having been already in communications, he decided that Toastmasters is going to still enhance his communication skills. He aptly joined. While he is learning, he is also sharing his knowledge and experience to other Toastmasters. His way of looking at Gandhiji as a communicator is again totally unique. He looks at that moment when Gandhiji held a fistful of salt, didn't speak, didn't communicate anything. That just showed a fistful of salt that simplified the complex laws about ownership of natural resources, the need to fight, and the need to fight against the oppressors. All said with just a fistful of salt. He just sarcastically mentions that, think about the PPTs, visuals, and props that you are going ahead in today's world in Toastmasters and elsewhere. But his career in communication taught him that these kind of elements and emotions are more powerful than words and logic. With this unique thinking on Gandhiji's communication skills, I'd like to welcome distinguished Toastmaster Thomas Abraham to present his evaluation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, G. Good afternoon, everybody, especially dear Dr. Sundaram. Life is short and what we know so little. Let's not look for perfection. Let's be tolerant. What a great message on 2nd of October for Indians. Thank you very much. And that too coming from an uncompromising project management guru. I really thank Doctor for that message alone. 4 things I liked. 1, I like the suspense of get up on the bench and stand. Though the boy was a giveaway because in Icebreaker, there can only be 1 boy. Secondly, you gave us information with which my admiration for you has gone up many notches. I know about all your qualifications. I know you have worked in 10 countries, have visited more. I know your son has graduated or whatever from Imperial College. I also know, 3rd point, I know you're a vegetarian from a young age. Now, my problems are, it's all about trade-off. Problems are what I don't know. Number 1, why did you become a vegetarian at that early age? I'm curious, doctor. Secondly, the details of your qualification gives me an impression, but I cannot absorb that information. So maybe a more truncated effort would have been easier for me to swallow because there's such a lot to swallow. Third, what life taught you, like that ambassador saying sorry to you, taught you food tolerance. Like that, you have learned such a lot in the university of life. Where did you learn? You have given me so many what. You traveled there, you saw this, but the why and the how of it would have given you more followers. We are inspired by you, but we don't know how to proceed. So this is a very important component, that will make this a truly inspiring speech. Fourth, you have a long track record in Toastmasters. You also had a childhood. You also have a family. Those still remain in the blind spot for us. I know there's such a lot of your achievements. I think this we have missed out here. It's our loss. So in all in all, what shall I say? A very inspiring story of achievements, education, career for somebody who is a well-accomplished professional that the Toastmasters of Medley can be proud of to have as a colleague. Impact could have been multiplied if you could please add how and why with what. If you could give us the events that changed you. There's such a lot in terms of why, the vividness, the variety, all around the globe that you learn from. Those would bring to life your life and will have more followers. He will jump into your bandwagon. All the best to you, doctor.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Thomas Abraham, for your evaluation. Let us move on to the 3rd evaluator of today, who is Toastmaster Atishay, evaluating 3rd speaker. So Atishay is, we know all from his last week's humorous speech contest as well, on his experiences with the examination. He's a very excited, enthusiastic Toastmaster. While he also, like most of us, I think even the senior most Toastmaster in Medley might have been a toddler during Mahatma Gandhi's times. So we all know about Gandhiji using only through the books or movies or some media through which we understood. However, he, by watching through movies or books about Mahatma Gandhi, he learned how to connect with crowds and communicate to inspire and motivate from the great father of the nation. With his words on Mahatma Gandhi like this, I invite him to present his evaluation. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Thank you, General Evaluator. When someone who has more experience being a Toastmaster than you have walking on the earth speaks, you listen. And when they speak about non-verbal communication, you don't just listen, but you watch and try to absorb every ounce of wisdom that they have to give you. This is exactly what I was doing when the target speaker, Toastmaster VNS, was speaking and telling us about non-verbal communication today. He began the speech with a very interesting factoid, a question. Why did Gandhiji, where did Gandhiji get the idea of wearing a single dhoti? A question I had never thought about, and a question that had me wanting the answer until the speaker gave it away. Brilliant way to start. And throughout the speech, he sprinkled these factoids of information, all of it revolving and trying to connect it to the theme, which was nonverbal communication. I just have three major recommendations for Toastmaster VNS based on his speech. Number one, speech structure. A typical Toastmaster speech is structured with an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. In this speech today, what I felt was that the introduction and the conclusion were not markedly different from the body. It was all intermingled into one. So when the Toastmaster was approaching the end of his speech, I was never able to tell. Had it not been for the timer, I would have felt that the speech ended abruptly. Similarly, the introduction was never quite connected to the title of the speech or to the rest of the body. The example about Gandhiji wearing a single dhoti was never used anywhere. I was always, throughout the speech, I was thinking whether this loop that has been opened will be closed somewhere, but that question, that curiosity was not answered. Point number two, development. The target speaker touched on various different points and used a variety of examples to talk about the central theme of the speech, which was nonverbal communication. He talked about most corporate presentations being centered around a PPT. He talked about how 90% of what we understand from communication is not through the words that are spoken. But he briefly touched upon these facts, whereas there was room for him to develop these further using concrete statistics, quoting different sources and using numbers from those quoted sources to build a strong argument as to why 90% of communication is nonverbal. My last point of recommendation is about tonality and presentation. Throughout his speech, the Toastmaster had sprinkled various pauses and silences. However, those were not strategically placed. For example, when transitioning from one point to another, a long silence makes the audience feel that the speaker is at a loss for words and is trying to recollect their points. In summary, a great speech, a great theme. We could clearly see the Toastmaster's experience from being a Toastmaster in this speech about nonverbal communication. My recommendations: structure, development, tonality, and presentation. Thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Atish. I may move on to the last evaluator of today's session, which is Toastmaster Sundaram. We all know he's from the real international Toastmasters experience, joined Medley and has been very enthusiastic in all its activities. He feels Gandhiji's success in communication was due to his idea to hold the hope. He was communicating to people by holding the hope and by inspiring the young and old of his period for a common cause called freedom, and also played or stood as a role model representing an average citizen of India, not showing off as a great person. That's how he achieved success, and that's how he communicated to people. At the same time, he would also like to recognize today, not just being the birthday of Mahatma Gandhi, he also wants to remember, recognize, and recollect the services rendered by our ex-Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri, whom he recognizes with two words called courage and determination at all phases of its life. Thank you very much, sir, for reminding us about the additional personality who represents today, and over to you for delivering your evaluation.
Thank you, Toastmaster Guru. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Thank you. Sir, Toastmaster Amita, with motivational strategies with speech title, A Friendly Smile and a Hand to Hold, Certainly, Madam Toastmaster Amita, I do agree with you. This does magic in our life, a friendly smile. Today in your speech, you gave the scenario of team harmony, moving to team split, and back, how you got back that team harmony. Your narration was very nice when you started your speech with your college event, the cultural event, and as a student minister, wow, I appreciate that post. How much enthusiasm you might have felt. We all felt in your words, the way in which you expressed it. And you mentioned how you all prepared. And the climax of your own experience came with your head of the department saying, budget is too high. Well, we can understand your priority was the success of the program, and head of the department's priority was budget. And you narrated, courage to continue, one line motivated you. So somewhere clearly you mentioned the transformation of team's harmony to team split, and transformed, how it got transformed to team harmony back with the right words. Moving to speech delivery, your voice was apt, your gestures were perfect. We all liked it. And the way in which your voice tone was so friendly. Having said that, I do have some of the friendly suggestions which will make your good speech to your best speech. Please note down my evaluation points. The speech purpose goes with the skills needed to motivate team members. As an evaluator, I expected that you can narrate more techniques, how you transformed your one idea to another idea, from team harmony to team split and back to the track. And there was less humor in your speech, and you could have smiled more. I know the topic is your own experience. A bright smile from a youth speaker will add value and do magic, because your theme of the speech was a friendly smile and a hand to hold. Keep working in that one. Certainly your speech will be an excellent one soon. And my concluding speech was, a concluding point is, in your speech conclusion, it was abrupt. You could have narrated it in a nice way, what experience you gathered, and you could have shared that, and how this experience is going to help you in future projects also. So try to work out in these points which I have mentioned. I enjoyed your speech. Good luck, Madam Toastmaster Amita. Over to General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sundaresan, and thanks and appreciations to all the evaluators for your candor feedback on the speeches that you listened. And I believe many of your feedback even represented the way we also experienced those speeches. Let us give all the evaluators a good applause for their honest and candor feedback today. However, before moving on to the next part of evaluation, may I request timer or all the evaluators qualified to be called for a poll?
Yes, madam. Yes, sir. All are qualified.
Okay, let me open the polls on Evaluator. Please vote for the best evaluator as you feel. Thank you very much. The poll is over. So, by walking through his life and sharing his life experiences, Mahatma also shared with us some good principles that we need to follow to become a better leader. One of them is time. You would remember, whenever you see a statue of Mahatma Gandhi or photograph of Mahatma Gandhi, there'll be a small hanging watch in his waist. Not just to show off. He used to be very perfect because he knows a lot of people are waiting for his communication. He used to be very perfect. He never used to waste time and used to always multitask things. Whenever he is sitting idle with a person in a bed or something, he will respond to all the mails. And there was one incident where a person had requested 2 minutes of his time for a meeting, and Mahatma gave exactly 2 minutes of time. When the person met him for 2 minutes and came out, people were eager. Come on, what did you do in 2 minutes? That person said, I spent 1 minute explaining my problem. He took 30 seconds to understand everything. In the next 30 seconds, he solved my problem. So such a great personality, such a great punctuality, person with the punctuality and time sense. We are proud to have him as the father of nation. Now our timer is going to explain to us how our performers of today had stood with their time. Timer Toastmaster Venkateshwarlu will be delivering his report on the observation of time, while he has very good observations of Mahatma Gandhi as a communicator, which is worth delivering a 7-minute speech. However, I am taking the best part of whatever he communicated to me, that I like that place where he said it's not just his words or his voice. He communicated with everything he had, his clothing, his padayatras, his satyagrahas, his charka, his walking stick, and even his silence gave a powerful message to the Indians to follow him. Thanks for the nice words. Over to you, Timer Venkateshwar.
Thank you, sir. I didn't get that. Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. No, you're going on mute now, Venkat. Can you unmute yourself, please?
1 minute. Hello.
No, it opens, it closes immediately.
Hello, sir.
It flickers, it mutes, unmutes immediately.
Maybe you can stop your video.
No, I think maybe you're pressing hard. You just press it once.
There is some problem.
Maybe you can share your screen. Venkat?
Go ahead, Venkat.
Yeah.
So let me stand in for Venkat. Yeah, Venkat, we are able to see your Excel. Please go to the Excel. Yeah, hold there. Let me stand in for Venkat. His timing starts with. Can you scroll up, Venkat? Can you scroll up a bit? We need to see the top of your page. Yeah, go to the top of your page. Full extreme top. So yeah, for prepared speeches, the time taken by Om Kumar was 4 minutes 54 seconds. By Dr. Tk Sundaram, 6 minutes 28 seconds. By DTM VN Subramanian, 7 minutes 27 seconds. And by Toastmaster Amita, 6 minutes 13 seconds. Can you scroll down a bit? On table topics, Toastmaster Dharan took 1 minute 9 seconds. Toastmaster Raghunath Mishra took 1 minute 2 seconds. Toastmaster Saravanan took 1 minute 48 seconds. Toastmaster Uday took 40 seconds. Toastmaster Karthikeyan took 1 minute 14 seconds. Toastmaster Venkatesan 2 minutes 21 seconds. Guest Mustafa Muhammad Mustafa 1 minute 20 seconds. Toastmaster Ranga 1 minute 30 seconds. Toastmaster Sampath 2 minutes 13 seconds. Toastmaster Amita 1 minute 14 seconds. Can you scroll down further, please? Evaluators. Toastmaster Venkateshan took 1 minute 11 seconds.
No, 3 minutes.
Sorry, 3 minutes 11 seconds. DTM Thomas Abraham took 3 minutes 11 seconds. Toastmaster Atishai took 3 minutes 12 seconds. And Toastmaster Sundareshan took 3 minutes 10 seconds. Thank you very much for your recording of time. Unfortunately, we were not able to hear it being reported by you. However, we move on to the next person from the tag team. This again is well connected with Mahatma Ji's experience. As TM Modi was explaining, Mahatma Ji's first ever public speaking was a utter flop, total flop. He was invited for a vegetarian society to deliver a speech. He had a speech in hand. He just stood there completely dumbstruck. He could not deliver anything. He was not even saying ahs and oohs. He was totally past. he had to hand over that speech script to another friend of his who ended up reading the whole script for the audience. From there, then he realized that unless you have an emotion or personal message, personal conviction to deliver something, motivate others, get them to your side for fighting for the freedom of the nation, you cannot speak publicly. The moment he got emotionally involved into his thoughts, he started using his entire human as a communication media. He succeeded as a great communicator, as Toastmaster Venkat said, not only by using his words, by using everything that he had. So to see how our speakers are doing all these things, using their fillers or ahs and things, we have the R counter to deliver the session. R counter is none other than Toastmaster Muralidhar, who is from Caterpillar, and he is a engineering manager in Caterpillar. He spends most of his time talking. So he decided it's time that I can do Toastmasters make smart talking. So he believes Mahatma Gandhi was a great, effective mass communicator and had ability to rouse emotions and desirable sentiments among the people through his communication skills. Or to Muralidhar to tell us about how our speakers perform.
Thank you, DTM Guru Prasad. Today it was a very good session for me, and I learned a lot here. And okay, so first thing is I observed 21 speakers. Out of that, 14 speakers had done a good job. The learning that I had here is preparation and practice. You can deliver speeches perfectly. So that was a very good learning from these 14 speakers. So good job for these 14 speakers. And I would I had found 7 of them had small errors, which I would go ahead and read out only for the people who have made who have made some small errors for them to correct. So I had Toastmaster of the day, Aishwarya. She had made one filler word, and project speaker Toastmaster Sundaram was made in 1 hour, and used and repeated actually only once actually. So he used that. And Toastmaster Venkatesh, and we had used R twice, and we had table topic speaker Dharan used like twice, and Raghunath Mishra, the table topic speaker, used twice and like twice. And Karthikeyan, Toastmaster Karthikeyan used once, and Toastmaster Venkatesh used her twice. Otherwise, all speakers did a great job and a good job. So that's it. Thank you, Guru Prasad.
Thank you very much for your observations, Toastmaster Muralidhar. Now we move on to the last member of the tag team, who is a grammarian. Of course, we also relate Mahatma Gandhi to it. He understood the right language with the right people will make right communication. He learned every language that he wanted to speak with people, starting from, of course, he was expert in his mother tongue, Gujarati. He learned Tamil, English, Telugu, Marathi. He took pains to learn them through experience and delivered with as much as possible with utmost perfection. So he realized that language, the right language, is the right tool for communication. We invite Toastmaster Saravanan, the grammarian, to deliver his observations. Toastmaster Saravanan, a car maker turned into a speech maker. He feels where there is love, there is life. This quote resonates with him, and he respects Mahatma Gandhi as a communicator, creator, and an artist. Over to you, Toastmaster Saravanan.
Thank you, DTM Guru sir. At one point of time, I thought you were talking about me on Gujarati at all. So, I was not sure. So, okay, fine. So let me share my screen and I talk about what my observations are. Today, it was very good. As a grammarian, I really like that. So if you see this framework, I have got the speakers, the outstanding usage, the word of the day that they have used, as well as some of the rhetorical devices they have used. These are the 3 things I would like to touch upon today. DTM Guru Prasad, during his SAA as well as during his general evaluation, used candor, that is the word of the day, and then he used metaphors for evaluation and introspection and self-reflection in life as well as Toastmasters. That was done brilliantly. Thanks for that. And Toastmaster Aishwarya, from a TMOD perspective, she used a triad, that is truly, passionately, and skillfully. That is an outstanding usage during her talk. And Toastmaster Om Kumar, during his speech during his icebreaker speech, he used this phrase, resisted with registration marriage. That was a very funny way of addressing that, and I really like that. And then he used some of the metaphors like beat the demon inside, killing the fear, pedestal table fan. Yeah, you cannot see this, right? Pedestal table fan, comparing that with his father and then how he turns, right? So that is really good. And Dr. Tk Sundaram, he used this outstanding word, that is noble laureates. That is really nice. And DTM VNS, sad, suicidal, lost, and the transformation of thoughts to action, that was brilliantly done. And he used the word of the day, candor. And he used an anaphora, that is better thinking, better speaking, better listening, and noble thoughts, noble values. These were all embedded as part of his speech. That was really nicely done. And Toastmaster Amita, during her speech, she gave an outstanding usage, that is big hug of comfort. I really like that phrase. And she used the word of the day, candor. And then she used a metaphor, that is miles to go. That means continuing the journey of life. So that is very well done and nicely interspersed as part of the speech. And she used a hyperbole also, that is told you a million times. And Toastmaster Subhashini, during her TT master speech, so some of the words I picked up during her speech was, everything flowers from the heart. That is a nice way of telling about the conceptualization that is coming from a speech perspective and how it is flowering from the heart as such. And power of three, multifold of happiness, mistakes are fortune in disguise. Very well done. And Toastmaster Dharan, during his TT speech, he brought up the word indomitable. I credit both Dharan as well as Gandhiji for that, because that was a quote from Gandhiji. And Toastmaster Karthikeyan used plan with action, nicely done. Toastmaster Rangarajan used epiphany, that is one of the good usage. Toastmaster Venkateshan, he used word of the day twice. And thanks for that, Toastmaster Venkateshan, you stand up that top. Okay. And DTM Thomas, during his evaluation, used the simile, University of Life, jump into bandwagon, that is another metaphor. And then an alliteration of vividness and variety. And then Toastmaster Atishay, during his evaluation speech, used sprinkle with pauses and silences. I really like that phrase. And then every ounce of wisdom, that is one of the similes being used. So these are various things I observed as part of this, and I really like that. And I would like you to use more of these rhetorical devices, because that is what will help you to come up with a good speech as such. Over to the General Evaluator, DTM Prasad. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Grammarian, for your detailed analysis observation. And also thanks to the entire team for your candor feedback on the proceedings of the meeting. So let me sum up with the General Evaluator observation. Yes, the meeting started well on time, thanks to the punctuality of the Sergeant at Arms. At the same time, I'm going to blame the same Sergeant at Arms playing another role in this meeting, who is causing a delay in closing the meeting now. I sincerely apologize, because during evaluation session, I took some more time to introduce speakers, which caused this delay. However, I would like to also express my detailed evaluation as short as possible. The meeting was good. The speeches were really interesting, starting from a naughty Diwali terrorist to a globe-trotting vegetarian, to playing hide and seek using communication, as well as having a courage to continue. The speeches were good. Everything had a message for us, particularly the table topics. I sincerely appreciate Table Topic Master for having chosen good quotes from Mahatma Gandhi. At the same time, they are correctly useful. They were correctly useful to the speakers to pick them up to deliver a speech. None of them stumbled or fumbled after listening to a title. Rightly chosen. Appreciations to you. Tag team, of course, except for a small glitch on the timer not being able to talk. Your observations are a bit unique and different. They were really very good and made meaning to the listeners as well as the performers. However, I have a couple of observations over here. One is, I have already said that in spite of monitoring the time, we managed, we had a delay in the beginning and we managed it during teaching. However, now apologies that I am causing the major delay in the end. And before I go to the recommendations, I also like to appreciate table topic master Subhashini on that balloon story. It was really very interesting and inspiring. One small notice here is both TMOD and TT master, when you are summing up or when you're concluding a speaker and calling the next speaker, you please comment on the content of the speech here. Don't provide your appreciations or praise of the speaker's performance, because everybody is going to be voted by someone. Your feedback on the performance might bias the votings. You can take a cue from the content of the speech and give your opinion as a follow-up. Second, a major observation to everyone over here is, this is my advice. Friends, I had been a Toastmaster for 10 years. I'm sharing from my experience. Whatever you do in Toastmasters in a meeting, it need not be the speeches alone. Even if you're willing to be a prospective table topic master, please reach out to your mentor. Discuss with him, this is what I'm planning to do in this meeting. Please advise me. I can straight away watch and I'll tell you in today's meeting, which I don't want to do, how many of you did and how many of you did not do it. That makes a great difference. You will understand a lot of things when you catch up with your mentor for 5 minutes. It does not take more than 5 minutes. How to plan the meeting, how to plan the sessions, where you should concentrate, where. Because I used to do it, I was advised to do it by my mentor. So I am sharing that advice to you. Please catch up your mentor, know the value of your mentor, so that every meeting your performance becomes better, and more better. With these words, I'd like to end and hand over the TMOD. While TMOD gets into the podium, I would like to share the tag player polling over to you, TMOD.
TMOD.
Thank you very much. Polling done.
Okay. So may I request you to conduct the polling for role players?
That will be after your closure.
Okay.
You are summing up.
Okay. Thank you, General Evaluator. So Gandhiji found a way of speaking that worked for him and was very different to how many other activities and politicians were communicating. His style and manner were truly fresh. There is so much to learn from the public speaking of Gandhiji. It's a constant inspiration for me to see that someone with such nervous beginnings could inspire a whole nation and beyond. What makes for effective communication? Number one, passion for the subject, a clear speech objective, sincerity, simplicity, use of symbols and stories, knowing the audience, quick wit, humor, and self confidence. Dear Toastmasters, I hope the father of the nation proves a great inspiration for us in our speech making, and in our lives. With this, let me hand over the session to presiding officer. Over to you, President.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Team Aishwarya. Wonderfully conducted. I enjoyed the session today, and I must take the time to acknowledge the role of the debutants today. The debutants of today were Toastmaster of the Day, Aishwarya Lakshmi, Toastmaster Om Kumar, Toastmaster Tk Sundaram, Toastmaster Subhashini as the TT player, and Toastmaster Venkat Palli. So these, I mean, it was a fantastic job. Let's give a good big hand to them for today. And there is just one guest here, Toastmaster Mustafa. Toastmaster Mustafa, could you come online, please? Could you tell us about yourself? And what brought you to Medley? Toastmaster Mohammed Mustafa?
Am I audible?
Oh, yes, now you are.
Yeah.
So
I have always been told as a man with very few words, because I spend most of my time in thinking rather than expressing what I think about. So it's been long that, I wanted to, become good at communication, but never took, any steps, or I think the courage was lacking. Maybe the stars are aligned now and there is some intrinsic, push for myself to get into this. And that's how I'm exploring a few clubs, and I got to know about your club. And yeah, it was a wonderful session today, the way it is being conducted, and lot to understand the the nitty-gritties of the communication. And I hope to be back soon. Thank you, sir.
And where are you from? You're based out of Chennai?
Yeah, I'm from Pallavaram, sir.
Very good. And how did you know about Medley?
I actually was browsing about communication classes. Then I got to know about Toastmasters, and then what better than having a low cost, friendly atmosphere to understand or learn your communication skills. So
very well said. We look forward to hosting you in the forthcoming weeks. If you could just share your telephone number in the chat, personal chat to me.
Sure.
I'll ask our Vice President of Membership to get in touch with you to explore the future.
Sir.
Okay.
Sure, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
So with that, it's time now to announce the results. The best speaker is Toastmaster Amita. The best TT speaker is Toastmaster Saravanan. The best evaluator is DTM Thomas T. Abraham. The best tag player is Toastmaster Saravanan again. And the best role player, there are two of them. It's a tie between DTM Guru Prasad and Toastmaster Subhashini. Congratulations to all the winners. Just like to remind you before I close the session, we have a business meeting next week. It will be during the session, that is immediately after the prepared speeches. It is likely to go on for about an hour, and it is only for members, after which we will have the TT session and the regular session of ours. So I request all the members to attend this. We are going to be discussing something of prime importance that's been carrying over for the last 3 terms. So I request you all to attend. And with those words, I would like to adjourn meeting number 645. And it's now open to everyone. Your views on the meeting